Good evening, this is Two Wolves. This is also Leah Clearwater. You know that my Abby's Leah Clearwater from Jacob Black's tribe. And that's my picture. I am Leah Clearwater, aka Two Wolves. This is just too much. Okay, so the carnage of our beautiful, beautiful North America continues. This is a picture taken on the Nez Perce Clearwater. Actually, these two forests have now combined. Isn't that ironic, eh? Nez Perce Clearwater Forest in central Idaho. This is the Frank Church River of No Return Wilderness, more sacred to everyone than most places in the Northwest. And this whole area, this region, is ancient, sacred, historical Nez Perce First Nations land. It's always been virtually untouched, very holy, very pure, beloved by everyone. Actually, a lot of, for Americans, a lot of your Lewis and Clark, that's not my favorite history, but at any rate, Sacagawea led Lewis and Clark through this area, so there's lots of history there as well. Aren't these pictures beautiful? This is the Clearwater section of the forest. Steelhead, fly fishing, very big in the beautiful hills of Idaho. There's an area in the Clearwater Nez Perce Forest called the Presidential Rocks area. I didn't know about that till just now. We need a little levity. This is called the Nixon Rock. Is that not hilarious? And here's a beautiful scene with autumn in the Clearwater Forest. First snows touching the peaks of the mountains. In Canada, especially in Yukon, Northwest Territories, and in Alaska, north of 60 as we call it, this is called termination dust. Isn't that funny? It's not a deadly term, although it can mean that, right? At minus 40 or more. It means that the summer's ended and winter's coming on, the termination of the gentle summer season, termination dust touching the peaks of these mountains in the Selway Bitterroot. It's a beautiful area, is it not? Well, it's endangered too. In the carnage, nothing's left behind. Now we're looking at www.fs.usda.gov photo gallery, Nez Perce. Oh, picture of a little Nez Perce gentleman in full tribal regalia amidst lupin and a lot of wildflowers, probably some camas. This is central Idaho, the girdle of Idaho. There's another picture, and all these pictures that I featured are by Steve Armstrong. What an amazing photographer. That's not fire, this is a beautiful sunset. Different topography, plunging canyons, raging big rivers, lots of bear and wolf and eagles and wildlife. Subsistence area, an area to regenerate the soul. This is called the Summer Sunset in the Salmon River Canyon, looking from Mackay Bar Lodge. Well, you should know that this forest and the area where around Salmon, on Salmon Chalice National Forest, those two converge. They verge on one another. It's the Idaho road map. The area we're talking about, no beauty left behind, eh? This is central Idaho. Here's Lewiston, Nez Perce County, and then north of here would be the Idaho Panhandle. Beautiful Selway Bitterroot Wilderness, an extension of the beauty of Canada coming down into Idaho, the Selway. This river starts in Canada. Elk City, Dixie, Riggins, Grangeville. A lot of this is, as well as being ancestral First Nations land, there's a lot of First Nations, Nez Perce primarily, who live in this region and hold it in great esteem and honor. The land is their heart. This is where many of the fires are occurring. Well, I'm going to take you to Ensaweb so that you can see how much destruction is now beginning to happen up there. And as we look at these, you'll see that they have not been highly staffed. They're not a priority to much of anyone, although there's a lot of valuable timber there. Well, the population. Look at the demographics. This is probably more about burning out a lot of timber that people rely on, loggers, hermits, people who live off the land, and First Nations peoples. And if you look at the pattern, as I'm beginning to see today, there's no doubt in my mind that recreational portals, sacred areas where there's a great deal of hunting and fishing, all of those areas are being targeted, and this area too. By the way, don't forget to come here. It's http://ensaweb.org. Watch the Trinity Ridge. I didn't have time to talk about it today. Very active. Now 141,000. It's been updated 10 minutes ago. Come and look for yourself. Nothing that I know of as drastic as is happening with this one and the Halstead at the moment, but it's very serious. Very serious. And very well, firefighters are handling this very well. The teams have been protecting things quite well. But let's look now at the Nez Perce and Clearwater National Forest and see what's happening there. Look at all these: porcupine, McGuire, the Vista fire, ditch fire, pettibone, and more. This is horrific. These had been left to burn because I had mentioned in a previous video about the Obama era edict to let all fires burn. That was reneged late in May, a bit late in the day, they said that they had to fight all fires now. Well, they certainly should be. But so many were left that they've begun to grow. This is the McGuire complex. Look at that. Great danger given the red flag warning, high winds, continuing drought, virtually no humidity, that these two could, well, I'm not going to speak it. It's a picture, very dark. Caused by lightning, so they say. 5 miles west of Dixie. We looked at Dixie, very close to the town of Dixie. Heavy timber with high dead and down component. Subalpine fire, lodgepole pine. There are more people on it now. This is actually transitioning to an incident 2 fire at 13,000 acres. Type 2 IMT has arrived and been briefed. Will take over at 1800 Pacific time. The community of Oro Grande has been evacuated. Very few, if any, individuals left. Community meetings at Oro Grande and Dixie with public contacts have occurred. Area closures in place or being put in place. I wanted to point out something else. Maybe I'm just getting way out there and exposing myself, but oh well. It's interesting that in the case of other communities with different demographics, there's been lots of media attention to evacuations. This is like an afterthought, eh? It's being evacuated. Very few, if any, left. Again, think about the demographics. I'll just let you think about that. Growth potential high, terrain difficulty high. Local units working hard to make the transition as smooth as possible and provide the details needed to help Type 2 team engage safely. 85 degrees. We'll look at a couple more. I will run out of time. I don't want to do that. There's the map. Going back to InsaWeb. Vista fire, ditch fire, pettibone. This ditch fire, Nez Perce National Forest again. Okay, well, you can see that my email, see my email name, but that's already got accidentally broadcast, so we won't worry about that. It's not registered to me. Okay, this is the ditch fire, so it doesn't really matter. The ditch fire is burning in the Selway Bitterroot Wilderness at 4,300 acres. It's very steep terrain. Beautiful Selway Bitterroot. Here's your latitude and longitude. If you were planning to be there or know somebody that lives there or is recreating there or hiding out there, let them know. Ditch fire, having been left to burn, has now grown. Originated in the Moose Creek Ranger District and recently crossed under the West Fork. Okay, does that sound familiar? Now we're talking about the Salmon area and the origins of the Mustang fire. This is the Bitterroot National Forest. The ditch fire is now adjacent to and still on the opposite side of the Selway River. Oh my gosh, which doesn't mean anything. All these fires are jumping rivers. The North Star Ranch on the southeast end. A fire modules helping set up structure protection for the ranch. Minimal fuel directly across from the ranch. That's good. The Ditch Creek drainage is holding the Moist Creek bottom. Wildfire lightning caused about a month ago, adjacent to the Shearer Airstrip and Selway Lodge. 7,000 acres. Here's a closure area. Growth high. Terrain difficulty high. We'll go back and look at, I don't know why my computer is doing that, but it's not that important. I wanted to show you one more. You can see how many fires there are. That's just Idaho fires. 6 pages. Most of them still active to one degree or another. This Powell complex, active. That's almost 20,000 acres. These two are, I hope they don't combine. These are on the Clearwater. As I said, Clearwater and Nez Perce are the same general region. We're going to look at that one. And there's many more. So please take a lead and go look. Spread the news. Incident updated 3 days ago. This is second page, so it's not as serious an issue in a sense, but things can change at any time. It's on the Clearwater National Forest out of Orofino. Orofino's is further north. Orofino's up further north. But you see again a complex southwest of Lola, Montana, on the Powell Ranger District. Potential for smoke in Bitterroot, Missoula Valley. Fire managers modified the area closure on 14 August to better accommodate recreational opportunities for forest visitors. So that's a positive thing. Every forest is managed differently. But this complex is at 16,000 acres. Estimated containment November 1. Lots of understory backing. That's bad. Single and group tree torching, burning out of green islands within the already burnt areas. So this talks about wind, structure protection around Colt Killed Pack Bridge and Trailhead and Elk Summit Guard Station. Keep an eye on that one. All right, this is Two Wolves Out for now. We'll finish with a picture or two. Two Wolves, Leah Clearwater out.